everybody. We are live. Thank you so much for coming tonight to our Twitch stream for Gamers Week. This is episode 195. We're extremely excited to have you.
Yeah, Zach's in the chat already asking, Donnie, are you fucking this up?
Well, it's funny because Donnie's not fucking it up because Donnie's not here.
Donnie's fucking it up from Poland. The energy is still traveling.
You know, that's a pretty impressive talent that he has, that no matter where he is, he could fuck up this podcast.
It's a true calling. It's a true calling. Welcome in, everyone. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this show started. Welcome to Gamers Week Podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, worst, and weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. This is episode 195, and today is Wednesday, January 14, 2026. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. My name is Blue Williams, and I'll be your host for this evening. But as you can see, I am not alone. I have two fine co-hosts with me. My first co-host is very excited that today is World Logic Day, and he has spent all day pushing up his glasses and saying, actually, to everyone he meets. So much so that he's now experiencing wrist pain, and yes, that's the story he's sticking with. Please say hello to Ryan Payne, aka Retro Game Brews.
I think I should take on Pedantic Daddy. That should be my title, right? Just permanently, Pedantic Daddy.
Yeah, just go ahead and run with that.
Right. I'm gonna take
perpetuity.
a sip of my cup that says Daddy to seal the deal.
Well, then I'll take a sip of my cup.
Yeah, we should see. You'd love to see some sort of counter every time you push up your glasses to correct us as we're speaking. Just like,
ding, ding. Chat, I know the chat is on that. All right, and my second co-host was finally lured into one sketchy Facebook Marketplace basement deal too many. And when the chloroform wore off, he found himself in Poland, dressed as a French maid and serving drinks in a cigar bar. The good news is that he thinks he can earn his way back home, but the bad news is that he'll have to sell his new copy of Popful Mail to do it. That's right, we are without the one and only Donnie G tonight, but in his place, we are joined by the fantastic Trevor, one half of the dad power duo that is New Dad Gaming Podcast. Trevor was last on our show in episode 119, which was all the way back in May 2024. So welcome back to the show, Trevor.
it is so great to be back here. When you started talking about Facebook Marketplace, I'm on there all the time, so I thought that might have been me.
Where did you realize it wasn't? Was it the French maid outfit?
No, he was still wondering at that point.
Yeah, it could be, for all that I know. So it's like, how did you pry into my life so much? My word. But absolute honor to be here. Thanks so much for having me today.
Yeah, great to have you back, man.
Yeah, for sure. Your latest episode 381, which is one hell of a flex.
I know.
Was the culmination of a challenge that you and Jeff did to not buy any new games in 2025. And holy shit, I would fail that miserably. How did that go?
Oh man. So you heard a little game called Claire Obscura and how everybody was talking about how amazing it was and like, oh, you so badly have to play this thing. Not us. Not us.
I just want to say,
I'm not familiar.
Claire Obscura, right?
Oh my gosh. Touch your glasses, man. Push them up.
No,
Yep, do it.
no. Donnie and I got actually by calling it Claire Obscura. So we are all in the same boat. Blue is the only one currently on the show that knows how to pronounce it correctly. So you're in good company, sir.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it was wild. Suggested by a listener, and we went through with it. It was a heck of an experience to see these things come out, but we both came away with different type of takeaways from the year. And, some definitely like the challenge. I think we're looking for something for the new year. So We'll see where we end up. It was a blast.
Do you have your eyes set on anything in particular with what's coming out this year?
For new games to get?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Or just you catching up on last year?
All catching up on last year. So I could not have bought Claire Obscura any faster. Mm-hmm. And then for Jeff, it was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm talking like January 1st. Like everybody else is like celebrating. They're like drinking champagne, and there's like Jeff like just clicking the purchase button.
Rush shipping. Yeah. But neither of you guys are Silksong guys?
So he is, and it was a bit of a cheat that we allowed because his oldest started to get into it and got into it hard.
Gotcha.
So it was hey Dad, can you come play with me? And it's like, cats in the cradles with the silver spoon.
There you go.
I didn't want to miss the opportunity, so we allowed that one in the context of, okay, you didn't buy it and you're being dragged into it. So he'll definitely be revisiting that. Myself, not Silksong, not so much.
Her response was,
Is Jeff available?
To be fair, I haven't tried it, so maybe I should. I have a whole 2026. We'll see where we end up.
All right. Well, yeah, highly recommend, of course. But we are so great to have you here, and we will have all of the links for Trevor and Jeff and New Dad Gaming in the show notes. So when you're done listening to this episode, everybody hop on over and check out those guys. You've got 381 magical episodes to put in your ear holes, so it'll be highly worth it. All right, but then
you fall before me. It says you can see the exact moment in which her heart begins to slowly break.
And Simon says, okay, no new games for an entire year except Silksong. Silksong. Yes, we're all allowed to buy Silksong.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, want to start your own podcast? Maybe about ravenous raving about raves? Well, you'll need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help grow your audience. Use the link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. And I think in hindsight, I actually should have saved that for a week where you were reading, Ryan.
Thank you. I appreciate that I can't read. So, all right. What?
You're welcome.
That's so smooth. It's impressive.
And let's move on to our reviews, reactions, and requests. Sam Disfaction says, the wait felt too long. Nice to have you fellas back.
Good to be back. Thank you, Satisfaction. It was a good hiatus, right? I'll take that.
It was a good hiatus. It was a nice holiday break, but, this is what we love to do. So, bless you.
Thank you.
Why always James E says, I must be one of the few people who are struggling to be excited about GTA 6. I'm looking forward to Mouse PI for Hire and the new Lego Batman more.
I'm also struggling for GTA 6 as well. I don't. It's not. Haven't gotten into a GTA game since probably 3. And that was just really, it was the meme game that everybody was talking about when you were a kid. Like, hey, did you know that you can kill people and hire prostitutes? It's like, at that age, it was like, sounds like my kind of game. But since then, but you get to be a Florida man. That's also another check in the no column for me. Sorry, Frank.
Like the Mouse PI reference, though. That game looks stunning. Like, that is so cool. It's fantastic to see what. Think about how different that is. GTA 6, super realistic, massive and huge, and then Mouse PI calling back to like the 50s Disney type stuff. Super cool. Like, neat contrast to see that one.
The golden age of gaming. There's a game for everyone. And then finally, Fernley Flynn says, congrats on your 4th birthday. Next up, potty training.
She's specifically talking about Donnie, just so you're aware.
We think he's finally ready to take this next big step in his life.
We're going to put him on a big boy toilet. He's going to love it.
I'm a big kid now.
Do they make pull-ups in his size?
They're called Depends.
Oh, that's touche. Man, life is cyclical, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, let's move on to our patron shout-outs.
Well, we couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. There ain't no getting off this train. Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Let's Play Princess, LaShorty, the Pixelpod family, including Shannon and Luke, and the Skee Ball Daddy, Zach, a.k.a. Old Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, Number One Blue, Sick Boys Fan, Chan, oh God, I can't, John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, Cyram, Al Warrington's Wacky Wavy, Inflatable Arm Flailing, Tube Man, Emporium, and Warehouse. Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Moradib, Michael, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Lakite, Emo S, Bill Tucker, you know the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Fruitcakes, I hate it when my shorts goods. Twisted Pickled Pepper, Ducks with Thick Thighs, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress. Bobson Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Perler Daddy, Retro Blast Pat, BNT Zillaguy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Claw Machine Daddy, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven San, Ramboski, Terry Kinnair, and Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over. And if you like what you hear today, we really hope that you do. Please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover costs of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast, Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes.
See, and everyone who is just listening later is missing the expressions changing on Trevor's face while we were reading this circus act lineup of patrons.
My God, just how you like? Does that change every week, or do you have to like go through those same names every time? Because my word,
some people update every week, so I just check it once a week.
I'm so impressed though too. Like you just blasted through them. Al Harrington's wacky, wavy, inflatable, arm flailing tube-man emporium and warehouse.
Oh, yes. He's a professional. He's a
My
natural.
God.
You can tell this is a podcaster who has 381 episodes.
Right?
My word. Cheers to your patrons though. That is fantastic. That made my night.
All right, let's move on to the headlines.
This headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things. And right now, they're working through every movie in the Alien vs. Predator connected universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. In The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror 6, Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace segment, what day of the year was the PTA meeting to discuss the misprinted school calendars? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes.
So, Trevor, are you a big fan of The Simpsons?
A bit of a funny story is I thought my kids would be of the age they could start watching it. And so I threw on the old first episode, or at least like one of the first episodes. And those might remember that there is the stripper in the episode. It's like, we just like through rose tinted backward looking glasses, you forget the amount of like sex and violence. It's like, oh right, this is an adult show. Like I cannot watch this anymore. At least with the kids. So at that very moment, it was okay, kids, you cannot watch this for a couple more years, and I am now going to start watching this again because this stuff is still very funny.
All right. I'm like I like this show. I've watched a bunch of episodes, but I would not say that I am the kind of person that has seen absolutely every single episode and is like an encyclopedia of it. Like a lot of people are, which kudos to you. So I'm not 100% sure the answer to this question. But based off of just the description, I'm going to try to make an educated guess.
Okay.
So it would make sense that it's on a leap year, right? So I'm thinking like February 29th when it's not a leap year.
Oh.
Or it's the old joke like, oh, we'll schedule that for February 30th when it means I don't want to schedule that with you. So I think it's one of those two. I just haven't been sold on which one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd give you an educated guess of saying, given the theme of Halloween, they might have done it on Friday the 13th, October, Friday the 13th.
Good call.
Or Halloween would be perhaps my thinking. Blue? What do you think?
Blue's not allowed to guess because she knows the answer.
Well,
She
for
knows the
the
answer.
record, I did guess. I guess the usual number gags because I'm like, the Simpsons writers are very, very intelligent, and so they're gonna make a joke out of this date. So I was like, well, it could be June 9th for 69. It could be 420. But I was like, no, it's 13 something. I was like, it's Friday the 13th something. And turns out Webhead in the chat actually has it because the correct answer is Smarch 13. They met on the 13th hour of the 13th day of the 13th month. Smarch. But yeah, when Zach posted that question, I was like, this is a highly specialized level of trivia knowledge that I couldn't even ever like hope to reach.
So, not. I don't know how good any of us would be at the bar night when it's Simpsons trivia. Unless we bring your chat, and then it sounds like we'd be able to school.
Frank, are you available?
You know, that's
Do a
a
live stream.
fantastic idea of just putting the phone, like live stream it on Twitch, right? And then just like watch the chat while we're doing trivia, and they can like.
I feel like if you go to those, they probably tell you to turn your phone off.
Yeah. Do people though? It's like it's my team. It's like me and 300 of my favorite friends.
Exactly.
It's like, what are you talking about?
We paid our entry fee. What?
We're all having wings. It's fine.
The 1 drink minimum. We did that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this week's headlines. Valve Steam Machine pricing may have just been leaked by a retailer, and shocker, it ain't cheap. When Valve announced the Steam Machine and Steam Frame in November 2025, the company declined to share pricing for either device. However, pricing for the Steam Machine was discovered on the website for the Czech retailer Smarty, reportedly an authorized seller of Valve devices in Europe. You can find the Steam Machine on the front end of the Smarty website, but it doesn't show pricing. However, Colossum Gamer explored the site's source code and discovered prices for both the 512 gig and 2 terabyte versions of the hybrid PC console at $19,826 and $22,306 Czech korunas, or about $950 and $1,070 US dollars, respectively. Everybody get that? That was a lot of numbers.
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Of course, take all of this with a grain of salt. Smarty apparently adds a 17% markup on products it sells, meaning the price could be closer to $814 for the 512 gigabyte model and $916 for the 2 terabyte version. For comparison, even with price hikes, the PS5 Pro and the Xbox Series X's most expensive variants are still under $800. With all that in mind, anything sold directly from Valve might feature a lower price. The Steam Deck OLED sells for $649 directly from Valve, but is nearly $200 more expensive on Amazon because it's sold by a third party. Regardless of whether the Smarty leak is true, expect the Steam Machine to have a hefty price tag. Across the tech world, prices will be going up. The worsening RAM crisis due to AI's insatiable need for memory is forcing companies to raise prices across the board, from phones and MacBooks to laptops and gaming consoles. Ramageddon may not find any kind of resolution until well into 2027, so whenever Valve's hybrid console launches, the price will almost certainly reflect the shortage.
So I took a moment to figure out, like, what would it cost for you to build a mid to low level PC right now, right? If you started from scratch, did your own build. So the specs I used were like a 3090 graphics card, right? Which is now, they're in the 5000 series. So that's 2 generations behind, you know, like a terabyte of SSD storage, a Ryzen 7 CPU, like a ROG motherboard, and I think that, and then the case itself. So I put that all together and said, okay, like, how much would that cost if you had it shipped to your house? We'll say free. You got free shipping on everything because you found the awesome deals. That'd run you anywhere between $1,100 to $1,200 in order to have that. With that in mind, if these prices are correct, the $950 to $1,100 for the Steam box, if that's correct, then I would say you're probably better off building your own. It's more customizable to you. You get to decide what's important in regards to the performance of it, and you can interchange things, which I'm assuming Steam probably won't let you do. Just like you can't really fuck around with your Nintendo Switch and plug and play and move stuff around. I don't know if that's the case with the Steam Deck. I just have to assume that most companies don't want you voiding warranties on things and turning machines into things they don't want them to be. But that being said, if it's more in the $800 range, maybe that's more reasonable for someone who doesn't want to spend the extra $400 for customization. They just want access to Steam games and a PC. That makes a little bit more sense. But we're really teetering on that line where it's not an ultimate home run right off the bat. Like, oh, this is $640, but I'm going to get a gaming style PC. let's do it. I'll sign up for that. I get access to a huge library of games, and you know what? I can take this thing on the go. It's probably more compact than building my own PC. Cool. I can do that. But when it's that close, there's got to be a differentiator, because then to me it becomes almost commoditized, right? Where you're like, well, what's the difference? You know, I can wait a few months, especially with the way RAM is sitting right now. Maybe that price goes down. I can make some decisions in regards to how much that's going to cost. If I buy the Steam machine now with the price that RAM is at, I might have been paying more money than I want to at that point. So I need to find something that's going to make this machine stand out from the others. And I've yet to see that, because it sounds to me like it's a mini PC, not necessarily, but a mini PC in that sense of like a pre-build that is designed specifically to play Steam games. That's a good personal question for each person from an ROI standpoint. How much do you need it? How much do you want it?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the OS it'll be running, the same thing that's on the Steam Deck, like I think that's available, if I'm not mistaken. I think you can just buy Steam OS, or not buy, so download and install Steam OS. So even if you buy a pre-built unit for $1,000 to $1,200, and then just install that Steam OS, it's like there is zero difference besides how seemingly well made it is. Like it's a cute box, it's a nice looking unit. But besides that, like, yeah, it becomes a very interesting value proposition if it's as expensive with software that you can get elsewhere.
Dottie just said, popping in to say Ryan sucks. I was right about the Steam box, and I am the Poland daddy back to bed. Sorry to cut off your excellent point there, Trevor. I just had to read that.
I'm not seeing, I don't have the chat on my screen, but I saw your reaction. I'm like, oh boy, did I say something? Because I said cute box? Was that hilarious?
No, if I'm looking in this direction, it's not you.
Cute box, though. Trevor has been here before.
Nice.
Yeah, but I do wonder if if you think about, you will often hear PC fanatics really go against consoles. It's like, why would you get a console? You could just get your own and it's customized. But people say, I don't want to. I just want to spend, like, give some money, get some games, and never have to worry about it. And perhaps Steam is trying to bridge that gap where it's like, if you want to touch PC games without an actual full PC, like, this is your MO. And it like looks nice, it's going to sit good.
100%, and I agree that if it was for a shorter price point, they would nail that out of. I mean, absolutely knock it out of the park. The problem is that it's about equivalent right now. So I know it's not. This thing is not intended for somebody who's going to spend $10,000 on their PC. I get that, right? That this is not somebody who wants to get a 240 megahertz or monitor or whatever, or sorry, gigahertz monitor, and just go nuts, and it's the big curve setup and everything. Like that's not this person. But you're right. I think it's somebody who has traditionally gone for consoles that sits there and goes, man, there's a lot of really great games on PC I would love to be able to get access to. I just can't at this point. But again, I think there needs to be an additional incentive at that price point.
Well, a couple of points, though. We would normally assume, that you guys are correct, that the PC crowd would not be interested in this. But I feel that we said the same thing about the Steam Deck. And yet, people went gaga over that.
I think people were more excited about the concept than actually purchasing it. Because if you look at the actual sales numbers, I don't think it crushed it per se.
I mean, it didn't crush it compared to like what a PlayStation would do.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be the Switch. I get that.
Right, for a niche handheld thing, I think it did very well.
Yeah, and I could say so my podcast host, console gamer, mostly on the PlayStation side of things, Mac user for his day job, like never really got to get into it. When the Steam Deck came, it fit so perfectly for him because he did not want to get into the whole PC thing, but the thought of like, I can have a way to get into some gaming a little bit. So it perfectly thread the needle. And I appreciate perhaps it isn't it didn't set the world on fire with its sales number, a la Switch. But I would say that if you do look at the amount of other portable consoles that have been launched, because people felt threatened. So the ROG, the Xbox launched their own.
Yep.
So it's a space all of a sudden people seemed interested in, and you like to think they're not going into it unless there's blood in the water, per se.
For sure.
Right.
And I think one of the things it also does is it probably created a reputation for Steam for creating a high-quality product that even if you own a Steam Deck, you may still be interested in this box as well. Especially considering the Steam Deck is a few years old. It's maybe it's time for an upgrade.
Well, and to be fair to the Steam Deck, it was twice as much as a Nintendo Switch. So
it was. You're right.
Doing even a fraction of what the Switch did is still impressive. Now, the other thing, Ryan, you mentioned about pricing out building your own PC. So that is one of the things that Mr. Blue loves to do all the time is go online, search for parts and deals, and like twice a day he comes up, he's like, I built you a new PC. He's just playing on his phone, but I built you a new PC and I did it for $800 or I did it for $900. And so he's very able to build competent gaming PCs for under $1,000. It's not that difficult if you know what you're doing. So that makes it even closer to what this is hypothetically going to be priced at. But I think when this might actually become a decision point for a lot of people is when the next generation of consoles turns over. PS6 and the next Xbox, whatever. Prices are still going to go up. Imagine what that gen is going to be priced at. So if the Steam Deck is still going to be between $800 and $900, and then Sony and Xbox are pricing their new gen at the same point, you may as well get the box that lets you play Steam games too.
Only concern I would have for that is just obsolescence. If you're able to, so I don't know. Are you able to crack open the Steam Deck and replace things if you want to upgrade memory and all that kind of stuff?
My understanding is they're offering a really good level of customization.
Okay.
Of it.
Okay. Because that I think would be huge. That if you're talking about years in the future, PC gamers are constantly buying new stuff for their. It's like the shiny new toy that they got to add something new for it. Oh wait, there's a game that that won't play at the perfect frame rate. Now I have to buy a $4,000 graphics card. I need it. I don't think you understand.
Yeah,
Right.
119 frames. What am I, a joke? let's drop $1,000. I'd be really curious, like Blue, based on your point, like with the next gen, like I'd be curious if this permissions Sony and Microsoft to start at the 1,000 price, where basically they're watching it. They're like, oh, okay, well, if the Steam Deck is going to be now competition and they've set it at 1,000, neat. We all get to be 1,000 too. Hooray!
Right. And then it becomes this ludicrous, I guess, price war, because it's like you're all trying to compete with each other, but you're all different things. And like I said, as long as Sony and Microsoft are putting their games on PC, which they both are, you may as well get the box that does all of it.
You know what? Simon Esther actually brought up an interesting point here. He said, I'm frugal as fuck. I want a PC so I can play games from 30 years ago. I have a backlog. I don't need to spend $3,000 on a high-end PC to have a lot of fun. A lot of retro gamers, I think, would find this to be pretty attractive in that sense, right? Especially, I mean, even if you're talking about playing games from 10 years ago, right? This would be accessible.
Right, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking 512 gigabytes. That's not enough.
Not for modern stuff, yeah.
No. But for Simon's model, it would be just fine.
Yeah, and with the retro handhelds, for a long time they kind of occupied a space of let's call like $100, like 150. Some of them have started to creep up into $300, $400, $500 territory, because they now go up to like GameCube, Sega Saturn, like some of the PlayStation 1 and 2. So if that's the case, it's like, well, I could buy this rinky-dink handheld thing, or I could buy this Steam box that also then gives me access to some of the more modern PC games that I want. And even if it's not modern, it'd be more like, what's that one, Absolem? The game that was it's a roguelike, a little bit like Hades. like you don't need the greatest stuff to play it, but it is a PC game. Well, sorry, it's on some other consoles, but you can play it on PC. It's like, oh, this will allow me to touch those while also dipping into my retro stuff as well, which would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And often what we're seeing too with console exclusives, a lot of times after a year or two, they're available on PC. Where
hey man, Master Chief is showing up on PlayStation.
That's true. That's so
I
true.
know. All bets are off.
Right.
It's a brave new world.
If you would have asked me 3 years ago if that would have ever happened, I would have laughed in your face.
Well, yeah. Once upon a time, we would have said you'd never see Sonic on a Nintendo console.
That's true. That
before
is
we
very
are,
true.
So.
That is very true.
Brave new world.
You know what? Nintendo will never have Sonic. You know, like on the playground. Yeah.
You just call him up, Billy. Fuck you.
Who was that?
All right, next up, Pocketpair has made the surprise announcement of an official Palworld trading card game. Pocketpair has partnered with Japanese TCG specialist Bushiroad for Palworld official trading card game, which has a July 30th, 2026 release date. This game is a two-player competitive card game where you can enjoy strategic tactical battles through deploying various unique pals, reads the official blurb. Team up with your trusty pals and experience the thrill of overcoming formidable enemies through this exciting trading card game. As you'd expect, the announcement has sparked further comparisons between Palworld and Pokémon, which has a hugely popular trading card game of its own. In September, Pocketpair announced Palworld Pal Farm, a farming and crafting spin-off that was revealed just a week after Nintendo revealed cozy farming sim Pokémon Pokopia. Pocketpair is, of course, embroiled in a high-profile patent battle with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company over Palworld, which is expected to progress this year. The Nintendo Palworld lawsuit, which has been ongoing in Japan since its announcement in September 2024, involves 3 patents, 2 related to monster capture and release, and 1 related to writing characters.
So we are sure that it is pronounced, what is it, Pokopia?
Pokopia? I was thinking it's like Utopia. Pokopia.
Got it.
There's the logic
I'm still
there.
rolling with Pokopia.
Pokopia. Okay, you know what? You do you. I don't judge.
Man, Pocketpair was just like, yeah, we're going to lean into this whole thing. Decided, you know what? We're going full Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Nintendo looks out the window. It's like, well, I hope they learned their lesson. They're just sitting in the parking lot giving them all middle fingers. It's just, like, are you kidding me with this? And it's the audacity, the boldness of it. Like, I don't know if it is. Do they have a death wish? Is it former Pokemon people who hate them, like exes of them? Is it just a cash grab of get as much of that Pokemon money as we can before we get sued into oblivion this year? Like there's no way I would have ever suspected they would go after the Pokemon card game like that. My God.
I'm pretty sure Pocketpair's mission statement is FAFO. They have that up in their office building. But yeah, Trevor, that's a good point. And I had the same thought yesterday. I was thinking, like, they're not even trying to hide it. I'm not sure that they were trying to hide it a lot before. It wasn't real subtle. But now they're just like doubling down and copying Nintendo's homework. Every class that Nintendo has, Pocketpair's like, we're going to do that. And I do wonder if it's because they know that at some point they're going to be stopped, so they may as well cash in as much as possible while they can.
God, you know what they need? They need the mobile game. Like there says the Pokemon. What's that one on the phone? Pokemon
Go.
We walk around and catch them. Pokemon Go. They need Palworld Go. Just do it. Go after every single one.
So now, if they announce that next week, Trevor needs to get
It's like
some
Right, I agree.
nailed it.
Yeah.
They're not just copying their homework. This is like from the movie Spies Like Us, where they're cheating at the exam. Like he's pulling out an eye patch. It's got all like their written answers on it, right? He's leaning over going, "What did you get for number 4?" This is so obvious and so fantastic. I gotta say, with Nintendo in particular being such a bully in this space, often we see with like emulators and everything like that, I applaud this. This is like, it feels a bit like comeuppance in a way for me, at least. don't get me wrong. I love Pokemon. It's not like I want Pokemon to fail. I don't want, Nintendo to fail. That is not what I'm looking for. But what I will say is I like when people take on conventions and are willing to push the limit and provide competition. Because Pokemon, great game, don't get me wrong, but Palworld has been extremely successful because they took that concept and tweaked it and potentially made it fun for a different audience, right? Made it a little bit more adult theme. As they say, it's Pokemon with guns. So why not have a little bit of fun, expand out on that and allow more than just one singular vision of what that kind of world could look like, making it a little bit more tongue-in-cheek and fun. So I got to give them kudos. And then to your point, this is just another middle finger. So now this just makes them like, it makes them the cool kids on the block. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'd be kind of curious to see if their card game could capture any audience with it. And I almost wanted to, because I'll say that, again, like my kids like getting Pokemon cards, but you try to go to a shop and there's just this lineup of like 35-year-olds who have been there since 3 a.m. And it's like guys, do you even play the game? What is the point of this?
Right.
So if there's so you mentioned shaking up, it would almost be nice to, even if this is not collectible and this lets kids actually play the game against one another and have a good time, or like adults who want to do it, whatever.
Right.
No shade. If you can buy packs and actually play with each other, as opposed to having again to camp out at 2 a.m. with adults to try to sneak in and get the first pack because they're trying to resell it. It'd be curious to see some shakeup of this space to loosen up Nintendo's hold as far as where they've recently landed with it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's like every time Nintendo has the Pokemon cards and the Happy Meals, or not, the Pokemon cards and the Happy Meals, and it always creates pandemonium and people buying 50 Happy Meals and then just dumping the food and taking the cards.
Oh yeah, right. You see it in the parking lot. Yeah.
Was it the Louvre where they did a partnership with Pokemon to give away free merch, and there was a mob at the museum?
Oh, I don't know, but I do know that the password is Louvre123.
Right, I remember that. I understood that reference. Tegan in the chat says, Ryan just said he wants to see Mario homeless in the gutter. You all heard it.
Roll back the tape. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I agree, because Nintendo has had to stick up their ass for so long, an iron fist clenched around all their IP. And so I think most people out there are cheering on Pocketpair. Go kick the bully in the shins and see how it goes.
Looking forward to their anime that's going to come out, right?
Oh, my Lord.
Palworld card?
Yeah, you can be the second best. I love this. I love to have no shame. I love to see them have no shame about it.
Right. That would be amazing. Oh, my God.
The kid's name isn't Ash. It's Smolder or something like that.
Or it's because it's Ash backwards, right? Everything's got to be a perfect reference, right? Yeah.
Oh.
God, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
That's great.
Z. Rambowski says, perfect. All right, next up, GameStop, our favorite store, is closing hundreds of stores just days into the new year as CEO Ryan Cohen aims to take home $35 billion in performance-based stock options. With reports emerging online of dozens of store closures just after 2026 began, a blog that tracks GameStop activity using employee reports and the company's store locator claims to have recorded 390 shuttered GameStop locations a little more than 1 week into the year. It's another hit to GameStop's physical presence in the gaming market. For the last 10 years, GameStop has closed more stores than it has opened in the U.S. each year, with closures often numbering in the hundreds and 590 closures alone in fiscal 2024. Meanwhile, GameStop announced earlier this week that Cohen, who took over as CEO in September 2023, is up to receive a staggering $35 billion in performance-based stock options. For Cohen to receive the payout, the company's board of directors states GameStop would need to reach a market capitalization of $100 billion and achieve $10 billion in cumulative performance. GameStop's market cap currently sits at about $9.5 billion. The award is designed to incentivize Mr. Cohen to achieve extraordinary growth, the announcement says. I think we just need to pause there. Extraordinary growth. GameStop has looked to new, bizarre ways to gain traction in recent years as it continues to double down on collectibles and memes, including its short-lived NFT marketplace and its first-ever Trade Anything Day, which saw customers bringing in literally anything for trading credit at their local stores. Earlier this week, the New Zealand Herald reported that GameStop's EB Games branch had made a proposal to close its remaining stores in New Zealand.
It is the 14th of January, and this is the first time that we've mentioned NFTs. We made it 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks into January.
I tell you, NFTs are just going to haunt our podcast
forever.
Our very first episode was about NFTs, and we just can't get away from them.
We should make our own NFT.
I kind of assumed you guys had NFTs.
We should have. We really could have capitalized on that one.
We do have our own crypto. It's called Daddy Coin.
Oh, boy. No rug pull, guaranteed.
You kidding me? We pull all the rugs around here. For the 8 people who invested $3 a piece.
Thank you.
So $35 billion is quite the performance stock incentive, but it only requires you to increase the market capitalization of your company by tenfold. No big deal. And you know what? They're doing a really good job by having trade us all of your crap days, which just makes sense. You know, you can say, look at all of the inventory we have. Look at all the stuff we have. We can put that towards our assets on the profit and assets and liability sheet because, yeah, you know, like a used spoon or an adult toy that's been used, we can make up something for how much that is. Then we say it got stolen, take the money from insurance, and look at that. All of a sudden, we got $100 billion.
Profit.
Extraordinary. So they're basically just the new thrift stores. So eventually, they're just like... So you pick up the latest copy of Palworld. You can grab yourself a nice pair of slacks. Head out to the $100 million.
Slacks.
Yeah. Slacks. Everybody.
She's making a reference to me making fun of her for using that word.
Okay.
But the best caveat is that I had used it like 5 episodes before. So
Receipts.
You see, and that banter is an NFT that you can see on the GameStop marketplace.
Right.
I don't know. So it's just so bizarre. Like, how on earth to even begin to approach this kind of conversation? Because the numbers are just silly.
Oh yeah,
like they're made up and nonsense completely. And at some point, we all went to a local game store and we're flipping through the CDs to figure what we wanted. Like, oh, they have this. This is amazing. So I think for anybody a little bit older, you can think of game stores of being these awesome places, especially before downloads, of where you got your next fix, you got your next game. This is amazing. And then, especially for folks who've been through this cycle, to see this bastardization of it, where it's now what you have to assume is nothing but just financial jury rigging to try to get a couple people to be crazy rich after all the silliness of the GameStop stuff. Did either of you buy GameStop stock at any point?
No, I purposely did not.
I did for a week,
which I don't blame you. It was a meme stock at that point. It was going up. So
it was a great lesson where I bought it and it immediately tanked. I'm like, okay, it's I hate investing, and then it came back up to the original price, and I got out. Nice. I was like, okay, lesson learned. Thank you, GameStop. I am not a day trader. This is wonderful. But I don't know. It's just I hate the fact that the amount of humanity that's lost in between. Our GameStop near our house. There's 2 lovely women who run it, and they do these Pokemon events where you can come in and they have this whole book and you can trade and they get everybody around. They give away free packs, and there's people just trying to run, and they like games and they want people to enjoy games. So amongst all this financial nonsense, is a bunch of stores that hopefully would try to sell some things and some people trying to run it. And it's like, damn it. So whatever was the guy's name? Ryan Cohen. It's like I'm sure he cares a whole heck of a lot about people bringing their kids to game stores and trying to have a good time.
Yeah, probably. That's why they're scolding employees who are kicking people out who tried to bring in the dildos for the Trade Anything Day. Right. Because we're emphasizing a family atmosphere here at our stores.
Anything.
Anything. I have two favorite parts about this article. The first one is that they're talking about a blog that tracks GameStop activity. So I love that in 2026 you can find anything on the internet, even a blog that tracks GameStop activity. My second favorite is like, okay, well, the company needs to achieve a $10 billion cumulative performance, and they currently are sitting at 9.5. So it feels like when you go on Twitch and people are like, oh, I'm so close to 200 subscribers. Come on, let's do this push. Like, get everybody, help me over the hump, everybody. It's like, you know what? We should all band together, go buy some stuff at GameStop and help Ryan Cohen get this $35 billion incentive.
Yeah. When you're paying $120 for the next installment of Mario Kart, I'm going to be thinking about Ryan Cohen. It's like, I hope he gets a little, have a little Ryan Cohen tip jar as you're checking out. Like, would you like to help Ryan Cohen like achieve his dreams?
Every little bit helps.
Picture of him crying, just like.
We'll take everything. So we'll take pocket lint. We'll take whatever you got, as long as we can throw a value on it. It's going to go towards the Ryan fund.
Yeah, but I agree. This is it's nonsense numbers that you could. You close stores and have been closing stores for the last decade, and then you're incentivizing this guy for extraordinary growth. I mean, I feel like everything I learned in high school math was a lie, because this seems to be how the world works. They work on a different math.
Yeah, so you tell me, so more stores, more money. No, you need less stores.
Right.
You fool.
Right.
Fewer stores, more money, obviously.
So, but how you sell things? You're just not getting it. You just don't understand finance.
Right. This must be why I'm not a billionaire, because I didn't learn their math. Dragoon ARC says, Cohen sucks. We disown him as a Canadian. I'm glad someone brought up GameStop Canadian side and brought up back EV Games.
100%. Go Canada, go.
I was going to say, Trevor, is he one of yours?
Yeah.
Shire Hobbit Baggins says, Sarah McLachlan commercial, please support this poor CEO. From the heart of an angel.
All right, and last up, AI may very well be an existential threat to humanity, but at least we no longer have to worry about its most harrowing implication. Larian has confirmed Divinity won't have any AI-generated genitals. It's worth noting that Larian has and continues to face genuinely serious questions over its use of AI in its next big project. Despite initially admitting to using generative AI to help develop concept art and placeholder text, Larian recently backpedaled, saying in clear terms that we've decided to refrain from using Gen AI tools during concept art development. They did, however, clarify that Gen AI will still be used to improve the speed with which we can try things out. During a recent AMA held by Larian's official Twitter account, a fan by the name of Lulu predicted that the game's lizards will probably use AI-generated dicks. Apparently, that was a line too far for Larian's technical animation director, Ricardo Ayasta, who stepped in to clarify. I can guarantee that all the genitals in the game will be manually crafted with love, he said. So there you have it, folks. No AI-generated lizard penises or AI private parts of any kind in Divinity, which unironically is wonderful news. Having only been announced just recently, Divinity is probably nowhere near releasing, although one of the few potential bright sides of Larian embracing AI to some degree is that it will hopefully take less time to make Divinity than Baldur's Gate 3, which was in development for 6 years.
So Rambowski said no AI jizzle physics. Oh, damn.
It takes a human touch to really get that jizzle right.
Was it not? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there not like horse testicle physics in Red Dead Redemption 2, where if you go into the cold, like it shrinks up a bit, and then it's just the thought of like a guy fresh out of school and he's just sitting there molding it perfectly. He's like, I went to school for 4 years and I've spent a month on this. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, so what did you do for Red Dead Redemption 2? I worked on heat-based
physics,
right? Biological physics.
See, now that guy would be the one with the picket sign out front when it's like, keep game genital work for humans, like protesting it. Him and all the rest of them that have ever done it.
He now works at Pocketpair. Did it?
There we
go.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that 100% went on his resume. He was the horse genital specialist.
I'm going to look up LinkedIn, horse genital specialist. You know what? I take it back. I'm not going to look that up.
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Probably get someone come to your house for a check-in.
Right.
Right. The FBI agent monitoring you is like, what?
Yeah. What has been your, yourselves and just this podcast in general, your take on AI being used in games? Because, it came up in Arc Raiders a little bit.
Sure.
When that was coming around, like, what's been your take on game companies using AI?
I think, I've generally agreed that utilizing AI as a tool for menial tasks, not necessarily always a bad thing if you can speed up the process and make it so that it's just more of the minutia of how to get things done. But when we're talking about specifically generative AI, when you're asking AI to create things for you and be a part of the creative side, that's when we would say that's typically where a human would come into play and be a part of that thing. So by utilizing generative AI, we're potentially taking someone's role, job, position, artistic creativity away. So it's very much that how you use it is, I think, and in Blue, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think how you use it is really been our chief concern.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely acknowledge that it's a giant gray area because nobody can really know if the AI is being used for ethical purposes or not. But I guess, my personal thought has been, if you get a game that does 99% of it right and then just used a touch of AI, I'm not willing to demonize the game for it, a la Divinity or let's say Clair Obscur both use tiny bits of AI, and Clair Obscur even had their like Indie Game of the Year award taken away because after the fact, which I think
but that's because they filled
out
out the forms wrong, right? They lied on the forms for that, saying they didn't use generative AI.
Well, I think it also depends on how do you
define it,
judge it. But how do you define it? Because none of it made it into the finished game, so maybe they were like, no, there is no AI in the game. But anyway, the point being, I'm not willing to demonize a game for it, even though I do prefer it not be there at all.
Yeah, the interesting case we had been discussing was around generative AI for voices. And I honestly, I did see some merit for it, but it kind of depends on what's the intent. Because let's say, because for the company, if the intent is, ha ha ha, I don't have to pay voice actors anymore.
Right.
That's garbage. That sucks. That's no great.
Right.
However, but with a huge game, like an Arc Raiders, right? Or an NPC, or like any of these huge games, especially when the silliness and the chaos, where it's like, okay, well, the bear that just spawned here hit the crocodile, which went up into the tree, and then that like did some bees, which attacked my horse. Right. Like, there's a bunch of silliness for that. If everyone's being compensated correctly, if everybody's being compensated, one of your favorite NPCs, like if they had AI, a voice in that case, where they could actually respond to you for what's happened in this moment, like that's to me kind of interesting, where the NPCs are going to be able to have a bit more of a rich experience for what's going on there.
Right.
Now, but therein lies the intent, right? Because if the intent is this will allow us to have a richer world, and we're going to make sure that the voice it's based on is paid. Cool.
Right. That's the biggest piece to it, is that if you're going to make that part of it, you should compensate them as if they read all of those lines, not just the initial, like, hey, say these, read this sentence so we can make your thing into AI. Yeah. Base it off of, all right, well, we would anticipate that the interaction that you're going to have with this person is going to be 5 pages of text, right? Pay them what that would be worth.
So that was speaking of a obscure Simpsons reference, remember the voice actor for the road, Simpsons voice actor is on the show. It's like, hey, I did the Roadrunner. Beep. It's like, you mean beep beep? No, those cheap bastards just had me say it once and then doubled it. So, throw that one in.
Love it.
Yeah, but with intent, I think it could do some interesting things. But the desire, again, like we just came off of a story of people trying to become a 35 billionaire. So it's like, do we entrust large enough companies like this to handle this with sophistication and a moral code where people are kind of paid what they're worth and well done? Or are they going to use it to try to get more bang for the buck?
Right. And I think that's the huge thing, because obviously the giant gaming houses are known for treating people, paying them what they're worth and then keeping them on and not laying them off whatsoever and being completely ethical. Like 100%. There's a long storied history of that happening. So obviously they're going to be responsible and ethical with their AI use.
It's not about cutting corners. It's never about cutting corners.
Yeah, this is not going to result in job losses, you guys. We're already cutting so many jobs that the AI is not going to change that.
Yeah. So in addition to the counter where it's every time Ryan like pushes up his glasses, we also need like a sarcasm meter.
I'm just gonna pin it.
Yeah, it's just constantly buried on the high end. I will say though, we're laughing at this story about the AI junk, but I will say, as somebody who has lightly dabbled with some AI products just to see if I can get them to break their rules, it's really hard to get those to look right.
First of all, kudos for having the courage to admit this. Second of all, I love that you've done this. And third, I love that you had enough dedication to try to continually break it in order for it to work. You've knocked it out of the park. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I will say of body parts the AI are generally prohibited from making. It was easy to get them to do 2 out of 3. But the one that was, I could not.
I'll let you guess which one.
Yeah, you do your own guessing. But the one that I could never get them to get right is the one that's referenced here in the article.
Understood.
There was just a mystery to the AI.
I've never seen this before. I don't know what you're talking
about. Nope, never.
I don't think the internet has any of this.
Oh my God, right? They have no access to that.
So I was like, how do you not know?
Oh, yeah. We live in such weird times.
Like I said, like as you read it, if it can help folks cut development time from like 6 years to 3 years or even 4 years,
sure,
and give better quality and more richer experiences, cool. But ideally, like gamers kind of band together, and anytime we find out that people are being nefarious with it, we just don't support the projects.
I do think, though, that we have gone quite the pendulum has swung pretty hard in the in the direction of anti-AI. If you have AI anything, there seems to be a stigma about it. And I don't know if that's a nuanced take from the gamer community. I think they see it as being a taboo word, and we associate everything, right? It all gets lumped into the same thing. So I think we need to be, as a community as well, a little bit more educated and nuanced about how we approach this.
Yeah, I am sure that companies just see gamers as being like a completely backwards audience, because I think the rest of the world is just so fucking in love with AI. Like, even at my work, the leadership at my work, they love it. They have it in everything that can be automated has, and they're always looking for ways to add more goddamn AI. And I hate it, but I think that we're in the odd one out in the rest of the world when it comes to this.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was a part of a very large, we'll call it leadership meeting, and the topic was brought up of how we can bring AI into it. And somebody who knew AI said, Well, how? What specifically would you be looking for? And the answer that they got was more or less like, I don't know, but I heard it's really good.
That checks out.
Whatever it is, more of it.
Yep.
Yeah. I want some of that.
I'll just walk over here and collect my $35 billion check.
Right.
Right. Like running companies is hard. I mean, come on.
Not with AI, it ain't. All right.
Apparently. There you
All
go.
right. All right, let's move on to our top 3 new releases.
All right, first up, it's Legend of Heroes Trials Beyond the Horizon for PS5, Switch 2, PS4, Switch, and PC. Future of an entire continent is at stake in this 2024 entry into the Trials series. Now, what?
Trails.
Sorry, Trails. I said it right before.
I was going to let it go, though.
Now released worldwide for the first time, explore the vast Calvard Republic with 3 different protagonists, nurture connections, and master powerful skills in both real-time and turn-based battles as you uncover the secret at the core of Zemural. Next up is Big Hops, PS5, Switch, and PC. Tongue swing, free climb, and build your own path forward in a new kind of 3D platformer. Plant veggie bounce pads, tight ropes, hook shots, and much more. Find a way through this huge desert, ocean, and mountain world and collect bugs, upgrade your backpack, and meet animal friends along the way. And last up, Hytale, early access for PC. Set on an adventure built for both creation and play, Hytale blends the freedom of sandbox with the momentum of an RPG. Explore procedurally generated worlds full of dungeons, secrets, and a variety of creatures, then shape it block by block. Our early access release focuses on polished core systems, exploration, responsive combat, and robust building, alongside creator-first tools for making your own content. Craft mini games and running community servers. Jump in, make your mark, help us grow the world together. Just taking a look at these. Blue, what are you most likely in for this week?
So Legend of Heroes, Trails Beyond the Horizon. I have not really dipped much into the Trails series, but this one is a prequel to a game, so perhaps one need not know too much of the lore. But, you know, looking at the trailer, it looks like just the kind of anime nonsense that I love. So that's definitely a contender. Big Hops. So
I love the pause. The pause.
That was a
good.
pregnant pause. My
Yeah.
you know the internet has ruined you when you look at a frog, a cartoon frog, and see him solving all his problems in the world with his tongue. And yeah, just the dirty jokes abound. I can't stop it. My mind is ruined. Gameplay looks fun though, so that's another contender. Hytale, I think, is an interesting case because of course it was in development for 10 years, was canceled 6 months ago, and then resurrected from beyond the grave. And you have to get their own launcher if you want to play it. So it's not available on any of the major launchers, which I think is a big ballsy move for them to be like, no, we are going to get enough of an audience to command our own launcher. I am not into Minecraft, so RPG Minecraft is not really going to change that, but I wish them the best of luck. So for me, it's probably Legend of Heroes first, Big Hop second.
And nothing, not even touching Hytale.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Trevor, what would you most likely buy if you were buying games in 2026?
Well, I am now. The problem is I have to try to catch up. There's so
there
much
to
go.
Right? Congratulations, you played yourself.
You did it. But with that, I think there's something to be said about like a bit tighter experiences. Like there's, if anything, just one of the games I was playing last year and no games was oh my god, I can't believe I forgot it. God's sakes, it's the FromSoft game from last year.
From
Elden
last
Ring?
year?
Elden, my lord, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. So like the sheer size of the darn thing, like it's just like, okay, I could just spend an entire year with very limited playing time. So the thought that something like Big Hops which I do like the cutie aesthetic. Like I do like that it's sort of, it seems like it's going to be like a smaller, tighter world as opposed to something like Hytale, which does look interesting, but it's just like the size of it is like, I'd like to try to beat some games this year and not like start out on too many big epic adventures.
Right.
If anything for myself, it'd probably be more like Big Hops. How about you, Ryan?
This one's kind of a tough one for me this week. I've played a few Trails games. They're good. They're fine. Especially if you're looking for fantasy RPG kind of stuff. You know, not bad. It's not something where I feel like I need to play every single entry into the series. And as Blue pointed out, it is very anime-y, which, you know, is my absolute favorite. 100%.
Can't get enough of it.
Yeah. Big Ops, okay. It's a thing. Whatever that thing is definitely doesn't spark joy for Ryan. So, gonna pass on that. And you're right, Hytale looks to me like a less blocky version of Minecraft, right? It's the polygons are a little bit more rounded, and that's about it. So
it's RPG Minecraft. You know, and for the record, the chat is very excited about Big Hops.
You know, it looks cute, and again, I'm not here to yuck your yum, as far as things go, right? It's just that's my personal feeling. So to me, honestly, it's probably going to be mostly a pass on all three. None of these are just sticking out to me as like a need to buy. And I think as a resolution for this year, specifically for Sheriff Snacks, I'm not going to say I will buy a game without actually intending to buy the game. Because he gives me a hard time. Like, oh, you're going to buy it, huh? You never freaking play those.
No, this is a big resolution for Ryan to stop lying.
He calls me Liar Game Bruce, specifically. So, yeah.
That's notable. That's honorable.
Mm-hmm. So we're turning over a new leaf, and this is just for you, Snacks.
Love you, bud.
So before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and the guests pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. This week, they're doing a special episode on the Power of Choice Nintendo Demonstrator Program promo tapes. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
There are so many great nostalgic stuff that Nintendo put out in the 80s for this kind of stuff. If you look at like the training videos they have, if you're like a distributor for Nintendo and like how to deal with problems, those are hilariously bad, right? To watch them. There are a million of those other promo tapes for like the Nintendo World Championships. There was ones for like Street Fighter, which, by the way, would not fly today because there are definitely some very offensive accents in that.
In the 80s? No.
Yeah, right.
Nah, never.
And so kudos to them for taking some time to watch some of these promo tapes. They are... when I was doing RGB High Score, you know, in between matches to kind of keep things fresh and keep people entertained, I would play a lot of these. And... I don't know how many times I would have people who would go, wait, can we go back to that? I want to see how that finishes up. So it's like, so you didn't come here for the gameplay. Got it. Cool.
There you go. You just have a YouTube channel where you just loop training videos.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with these. I did a quick Google search though, and because I've seen the ones that you would do, and the YouTube videos that I pulled up on these, they were like an hour each. So I was like, holy crap, like when I have some time, I want to sit down and go through these. I bet they are hilarious.
You should check out the one that they did for the Christmas release of Donkey Kong Country. Right?
Oh, that sounds like gold.
There's a guy who's like, hey man, like, what's up? My name is Trevor, you know, like, all right. And
Trevor, that's how you need to introduce yourself next time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's like listening to my own recording back.
Right.
It's amazing.
He's like, yeah, you know, they got this cool little game. It's just off of Donkey Kong. You remember that Donkey Kong, the big gorilla from back in the day? Well, he's back, and he's wearing a tie. And it's like, oh, my God. take it down a notch. Like, you're here.
Take down 5-10% there, Squirrely Dan.
But that was the 90s, right? That was everything needed to be over the top. And, you know, it fit in with the time. But they were talking about, like, all right, so let's pretend like a kid comes up to you and he's like, hey, what new game should I play for this? And it's like, you should probably check out Donkey Kong Country. It's probably the coolest game that's ever been made. And while you're there, you should probably buy one of the cleaning kits for the Super Nintendo. It's like, always make sure you're upselling.
Are you auditioning for Nintendo right now? Because like, I'm pretty good.
I am. Big end.
Guys, book them. Like, you can sell games to kids immediately. Oh, you should work for Palworld.
There we go. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, see, I think we need to just clip that and sell it as an NFT.
Yeah.
See?
I can't see said I had the N64 tapes for the 90s. Those were great as well. They would have the new games that were coming out, and then they would have like tricks and tips. And there was a segment where it was snarky comments. Like they would read like a comment from somebody who mailed something in and then reply to it extremely sarcastically. Highly recommend. So if you are looking for a rabbit hole, look up promo tapes from Nintendo from the 90s. Also include Capcom, Babbage's, the Retro Store, right? Funko Land, a lot of great stuff. And then you'll probably end up in the rabbit hole, which I did, which was like grocery stores from the 80s and their training videos, or Wendy's with grill skills. All good stuff.
Grill skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's beautiful about this is that they say that people don't have a sense of history in the modern times. But look at the stuff we have preserved.
Right.
Grocery store training videos from the 80s.
Well, kudos to the Retro Game Club podcast for doing God's work and going down this rabbit hole discussing them.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
And now, it's time for the pause. Very important poll. Love your
Thank
blue.
you. Yeah.
Yep. Every month, we post our VIP or very important poll. If you'd like to participate, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at GamersWeekPC. This month's question: do you think video games were better when they were shorter? Well, not exactly a tie here, but we saw that 64%, so about 2/3 of you said yes. About a third of you, 36%, said no. So let's take a look at some of the comments. Starting off with Mogak. Gameplay loops needed to be better, but I prefer the in-depth storytelling of longer games. There's absolutely an upper limit of about 40 hours for the main quest, though. Pete Scarrett said, I won't answer for everyone because different strokes for different folks, but for me, video games were unequivocally better when they were shorter and about best effort/scores over beating or finishing them. Long games are intimidating, and I only finished them less than 0.5% of games played. Alan T said, I wouldn't say that they were better, but I would say a lot of games now are longer than they need to be. There's a lot of bloat and padding because of this weirdly widespread idea that games should be so many hours per dollar or whatever. Nightingale.
Nightingale.
No, man, I cannot read today.
That's a tough one.
I get
I'll
it.
allow that.
Nightingale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, as sometimes it's good to have a few shorter games to break up any monotony or give you something to do while waiting for something new, or you enjoy the faster pace. No, sometimes you might need the long game to keep you busy enough or enjoy longer paced moments. And finally, Joe Chacon says, long, short, either way, I never finish them. At least he's honest.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes the struggle is real.
Yeah. So,
I was going to say, as a question, like what game have you spent the most time in? Like what the most hours like sunk into either? And that doesn't not necessarily quote on being the longest, because perhaps like people play chess for tens of thousands of hours. Mm-hmm. So what game would you say you have the most hours in?
And we're talking with potentially more than one playthrough, so not just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like total time spent in a game.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of curious like where it lands for you on a short game versus a long game.
I've put so many hours into Chrono Trigger over the years, replaying it and replaying it and replaying it, because there is so many endings, and I wanted to get them all right. They got.
Would you consider that a long game or a short game?
By
Bit of a
today's
trickier
standards, I would consider it to be a shorter game. By that, when you're talking back in the 90s when it came out, it was a much longer game than most games that were out at the time. I think it falls within that small subsection.
Yeah. Blue, how about you?
Well, Puzzle Better says the size of the game matters. Yeah, I don't know. I have a couple 100 hours in Bolatro. I have a couple, probably pushing 600 hours in Vampire Survivors, which you could argue is a short game because it's a half-hour rounds. And then I've got 300-400 hours in Elden Ring and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I think the difference is that with the longer games, at least for me, like, I love a game with a giant map. Give it to me. Give me all the giant maps. I want them. And then I will explore every inch of that map, and then I will put the game down and never go back to it. But there's a game, a shorter game where you can justify sitting down and putting just a couple of quick hours in.
Sure.
Because you're not committing, once again, to another 200-hour experience that you've already thoroughly 100%ed. So I do see it both ways. But the way that I answered this poll was I said yes. I said no, games are better when they're longer, because I prefer, instead of having the same experience over and over and over and over again, just because it's short, I would prefer to have an extended experience that is more or less new. Yes, there's bloat, and then there's, cookie cutter fetch quests and all that kind of stuff used to pad the size of a game. But overall, I would prefer one long experience versus the same short experience repeated over and over and over again for the same amount of time.
I will say, for me, because I prefer retro gaming, there's this instant desire to say yes, games were better when they were shorter. Because most of the stuff that I play is probably would be considered short by modern, sensibilities. One thing I will say about certain games, like, for example, like Mega Man 2, I can play that game, or Mega Man X, over and over and over again, because it feels like every time you play it, you master it a little bit better, right? You do more, you're able to run it faster, you're able to, kill enemies quicker, whatever it is. So there is something about that where you feel as though you're making progress in some sense. But the one thing that, for me, because of the focus on retro games, having games that are 200 hours worth of content and plus is a bit intimidating to me. And maybe why I haven't embraced the biggest games that are out there, the stuff from FromSoft, where it's not only hours long, but it's also hard as balls, right? So even more adding to the problem, or the intimidating factor. And then thinking to myself, well, if a lot of these games are kind of slow burns as well, so you got to put 30 hours in before you really understand the story or it gets good. What if I don't like it by the time it gets to that point, where I could have played something else that took me 40 hours to complete? By 30 hours, I'm so invested. I know exactly what I want to do. I probably know by hour 4 in those types of games whether or not I want to continue. So, but that really, I mean, of course, we've talked about this a million times, but gamers aren't a monolith. This is, of course, an extremely subjective opinion, right? Donnie, I would imagine, doesn't give a shit about RPGs. So for him, game length is probably not as important, right?
Yeah. I think the really good comment that I liked was mentioning about the padding. There's a lot of bloat and padding. So this came from Alan with T, who said there's a lot of bloat and padding because of this weirdly widespread idea the game should be so many hours per dollar or whatever. So I think about something, if it's going to require you to do a whole bunch of MacGuffin tasks and just run around, it's like, okay, you are wasting my time. Whereas something like I'll say my most played game is Skyrim. It's the one that I have like the most hours in.
Right.
And I don't know that I ever played any side quest or something in that and thought to myself, it's like, oh, you're making me do this to like waste some of my time.
Like the cup noodles side quest for Final Fantasy.
The point at which Final Fantasy just really broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it needs to be, but like I think a long game can like enthrall you in the story, build you into the world, give you so many options to like branch out and do whatever you want to do. As long as it's not long for the sake of being long, and that
Right.
like, well, you need I want you to spend $100, so this needs to be 80 hours. So here's like this list you have to complete first. Enjoy, as opposed to here's this huge map and a bunch of stuff to do. It's a really rich world.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy. Like, where you go.
And I'm not even somebody who needs to go for the platinums in those, but you're right. Sometimes even just experiencing the whole game, I have to go for 80 hours doing essentially nothing that adds to the story, nothing that adds to my excitement, but it just becomes this. It's like they said, hey, we're gonna bring some errands that you got to run into this. Like I feel like this is my Friday afternoon, and we just decided that we're just gonna add some additional ones for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's having
Yeah,
fun?
I do like the constraints on a short one, like with something like the Stanley Parable, where like it just, or even like Portal for that matter, like that whole type of tinier genre of like breaking the fourth wall and like really messing with people and messing with expected patterns of the games. There's a lot of like really fun stuff that happens in short games too, and shorts as opposed to, like you said, Empire Survivors, awesome game. I got a bunch of hours there too, but it's a loop as opposed to like this beginning, middle, end, like finished, like you're done. There's nothing else here. Go home.
Almost more like an arcade game.
Yeah. So it's fascinating to see. Another great comment from the other person is like it's not a yes and a no. Oh, sorry, long, short. Either way, I'm not finishing them. Like, different sorts of different fun. It's awesome to be in this gaming time with like the amazing experiences across every length of game.
Yeah. No, and I think that's the key is that, for every crappy long game, or no, I wouldn't say for everyone, but there are those standouts in both categories because you've got the Mega Mans and the Turtles in Time, and then on the long side you've got Breath of the Wild, and you've got Elden Ring, and the games that craft the worlds that are really worth exploring versus what Ubisoft has turned into with Assassin's Creed, where it's let's just procedurally generate that bitch and get it out the door, so the world is full of nothing. But yeah, I think if I had to play on one team, I would go for the longer games.
That's fair. And I don't know if there was, back in the day that there wasn't certain games that had padding or asking you to do things in loops, that kind of thing. So that was still existent. I mean, I'll give you an example of one of the hardest games that you can't even get the ending unless you do it twice, which was Ghosts and Goblins. Right? Brutal. Right. You got to the end, you're like, oh, thank God. And then it was just like, just kidding.
Surprise.
Right?
Do it again.
If you've ever played Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis for the Turtles game, those boards are insanely long. And you're just like, is it going to be over soon? I'm really tired of this, right? Super Nintendo, I think, did it better. It was shorter boards and more bosses and more levels. Easier to do when you can travel through time. And all of a sudden, foot soldiers are not only riding dinosaurs, but they're shooting arrows on a pirate ship. So I would imagine context had a lot to do with it. But yeah, I don't know if... I think we automatically assume every game back in the day was shorter meant that it had better content, and I don't think that that's 100% the case.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 195 of Gamers Week Podcast, and a big thank you to the Retro Game Club Podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Pawn Production Company, and absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. If you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we will record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Time. Email us at gamersweekpodcast gamerspodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com. Or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. Finally, since you made it all the way to the end of this episode, please leave us a rating and a review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Trevor, thank you again so much.
Absolutely.
Such a joy to have you here. And let's not make it a year and a half until you come back.
Yeah. No, guys, I can't. Always such a blast, such an honor to be with you guys here in the audience. Thank you so much. Always fun. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we go, can you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me and Jeff at the New Dad Gaming Podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at New Dad Gaming, and our website besides newdadgaming.com.
All right, and we will, as I said earlier, we will have links to Trevor and Jeff and New Dad Gaming in the show notes. So for real, go check them out. Listen to especially the last year and the struggles with not buying new games. This is drama.
When Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came, you've never seen a man just like the pain in his eyes. Like that was just such his jam, especially because he found out you could continue your character from one season to the.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it hurt him so. Those are some great episodes.
Yeah, so see, forget about the Stranger Things finale. If you want real drama, this is what you got to go to.
I love it.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and raid Fern Leaf Flynn, which is funny because she actually replied to one of our questions here for today. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and check her out. Thank you all for stopping by, and we will be back on Monday with a game stream. So stick around, check us out then, and everyone, hope you have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.
That's what happens when it's counting down to the raid part.
I think I was streaming Hearthstone or Marvel Snap, and like it's my third ever stream, and I got raided, and I was so confused. Like,
What's happening?
it's just